Is there anything more I can do for you? Should my hair be red or shall it be blue? Is there anything more I can do for you? Shall I let the green grass turn black for you? Is there something more you want me to do? Shall I hand off all my secrets to you? Maybe then you'll see me too. Is there something more? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The best position you can position your knife for deployment for street self-defense is in the lower pocket of your pants. Some people put the knife in the high pocket. That's going to be a liability when you end up on the ground and he's on top of you and you're not going to be able to deploy it. The best thing to do is right here. You want to make sure that the knife that you carry has enough outside that you can actually grip it. That's why I like this specific knife, because it's got a ball. In other words, if the knife is right here, I can shove my thumb in and the knife is out. Okay, if it was here, it would be possible as well, but when I'm on the ground and somebody is on top of me, I won't be able to deploy it. Your knife has to be able to be deployed when you're standing, when you're sitting, when you're lying down, when somebody grabs you. You want to have access. The knife is distributed into 4 parts. You got the handle, which obviously that's how you're going to hold the knife. You got the butt hand, which is an impact weapon and pressure point weapon. You got the control part of the blade. In other words, right here, and you got the slashing and stabbing part of the blade. Okay, when you grip the knife, what you're going to do is you're going to grab it with your knuckles first here. Okay, that is done. So when I'm done grabbing, the blade would be aligned with these knuckles, and wherever I go, the blade will follow. If you put the knife into your hand versus here in the joints of the knuckles, you're going to end up not aligned with that, and your slashes will not be in tune with your movements of your forearm and your hand. So again, first you're going to put it right here, clinch it and hold it. Your thumb is going to go right here. I don't want to see your thumb like this. If you put your thumb like this and you start fighting, they're going to cut your thumb. They cut your thumb, that's going to short circuit you, and again a knife cuts. Okay, in other words, it's going to completely mess you up as far as the pain is concerned. So I want the thumb right here. Okay, do not smother the butt hand. Butt hand, you're going to need it. Sometimes you're going to need to hit with it. Okay, so right here. As far as the knife, right here will be the part that you control. You know, blocks, or maybe you're going into the neck. And right here is the part where you're slashing and stabbing. Every motion you do with the knife, you're going to want to need to keep a loose wrist. Don't tighten up. You're not going to make that knife any sharper by tightening up. Keep it loose. Every time you slash, it is the bottom of the hand that does the penetration. The bottom of the hand, right here, this part is the one that does the penetration. The top part, which is right here in the thumb, dictates where we're going with the knife. So the direction is the top, and the bottom is the penetration of the slashes. Now we go to reverse grip. Reverse grip, same thing happens first. I'm going to grab right here. Don't grab like this. I'm going to grab right here, close my knuckles, and slightly put my thumb here. Do not put your thumb like this. You just lost your impact weapon. Put your thumb right here. All right? From here, same thing. I want to keep my wrist loose. When you hold reverse grip, don't ever hold it like this. You have closed a gate. If I hold reverse grip, and you'll see in the second tape, which is the advanced tape, we're going to address reverse grip. You want to keep your gate open because it is an entrapping hook motion. As soon as you do this, you basically gave that up. If you're going to hold the knife like that, you might as well hold the knife like this, and you'll have more length and more reach anyway, and it's much better anyway. So again, 1, loose. Keep everything nice and loose so you can use that knife in every direction and nice penetration on your techniques. Reverse, you're coming here and here. Do not put your thumb here, same thing here. Keep everything loose. Don't. If you're right-handed, obviously you're going to have a right lead. If you're left-handed, you're going to have a left lead. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step one step forward. Again, as an Agana practitioner, I expect you to go forward and not go backward. Body language going backward is telling him you're scared. If you're coming in, you're jamming in, and it's more of an intimidation, and you will always dominate by intimidate your opponent. So I'm going to take one walking step forward. The walking step is there because I don't have to think about it, and it's instinctive. As soon as I did so, I am going to rotate myself just a little bit, and I'm going to pick my rear heel up. My rear heel is important that it is up. It is my spring load. In other words, this is how I'm going to generate my motion as far as my footwork is concerned. I want to keep a distribution of 50-50. In other words, I don't want to lean forward and all my weight is up front, and I definitely don't want to lean back and then I lose that heel being up. I want to be 50-50, nice and comfortable. My hand is going to go up that the knife is in front of my chest. I don't want the knife in front of my face. If I put the knife in front of my face, as human beings, we're going to see sharp here and scenario. In other words, the person that's attacking you is going to look all blurry. I want to have a very sharp image of the attacker that's attacking me in front of me. So the knife is in front of my chest. I keep it 90 degree. My hand is 90 degree out. I don't have the knife like this and then I'm collapsing. The knife is out and the blade is in a 45 degree angle facing my opponent. My other hand is going to be in front of my neck. Not down here, definitely not here. I want to protect my neck at all costs. Because he has a knife, the neck is the place that I need to protect the most in the knife fight. If he cuts me in my forearms, he cuts me in my shoulder, I'll survive. He cuts me in my neck, in my throat, I'm dead. So I'm going to put my hand right here, right in front of my neck. This is your fighting stance. There is no other fighting stance in knife fighting. Every time you fight, you're going to have to find yourself here. Every time you move around, you're going to have to reposition here. Given the fact that you got it in a proper fighting stance and you have a proper grip on the knife, now you're ready to move. The first set of footwork will be going forward. When I go forward, I'm going to generate the energy of going forward with the rear heel. In other words, I'm going to push off from the rear heel. Whatever I push off, I'm going to take a step and close the gap. I don't drag my footwork. In other words, I'm not moving this foot first. The first thing I'm moving is pushing off. This is going to spring load my footwork. In other words, I'm going to have a little jilt into it and it's going to kind of supercharge my motion. If I drag my footwork, just like it sounds, it's a dragging motion, it's much slower. Everything upstairs remains the same. It remains the same. In other words, I'm moving forward, but I'm not moving anything upstairs for no apparent reason. I'm here, moving forward, moving forward. It is important that you don't make big steps. If you make big step, that is considered a lunge. If I have an opponent with a knife that lunges at me and I cut the angle on him and I counter, it's impossible for him in mid-lunge to change his attack. You're better off to go 1-2 little steps than one big step and realize that you made a mistake. So everything you do has to be loose, nice, coming in. Again, in, and coming back in. Anytime we go forward, it's considered offensive. Every time I'm going to go forward, I consider myself engaging. Okay, later on we're going to apply the technique with the footwork and put it together. But anytime you're going forward, you're attacking. Anytime you're going backward, you're defending. Again. Okay, now I'm going to have to go backward. Going backward is different. I'm in my fighting stance and I decided tactically to back up. In other words, either I'm overwhelmed with whatever's coming in or either the situation dictates that I need to pull back. On this one, I am going to have to pull my front leg first. In other words, my front leg has to clear first. If I push my back leg first, what happens is I keep this as a target, and later on you're going to see that the front leg is going to become a target in knife fighting. In other words, I'm going to have to clear all my front backward in one motion. That will be done by doing what I call a half pendulum. I am going to come back by pendulum myself half pendulum. It's called a half pendulum because a full pendulum technically is 1-2, and that looks like I'm dancing
And I'm not wearing a pink leotard in this video series, so I'm not getting into dancing. In other words, I'm coming backward with a half